look good. They sound good. They're ready to go. Al Simkowski on the outside of row number 1 in the Auto Nation Ford. John Honeybring to the inside in his number 20 Camry. Donald Ray right behind them into the number 14 Ford Mustang. Dustin Painter in the number 49 Chevy Camaro. Jeremy Brio starts 6th on the outside of row number 3 to the inside of Season 1 Thursday Night Thunder champion Tom Sears. Thomas Andrews from the Northeast in the number 2 Money Lion Ford. Interesting colors there. Love it. So many interesting paint schemes tonight. Jacob Fifield in the Mountainous Bush Ford to the inside. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey rocking the Estates number 94 Ford Mustang GT. The pride of Southern Kansas City. Seth Wansing all the way at the back. On race control, Terry Gabbard. Coming to the green flag. Honeybring to the inside. Simkowski to the outside. Green flag at Atlanta. Leading lap number 1 in the stage, John Honeybring to the inside. Donald Ray inside as well. Al Simkowski rocking the outside line. Already some action. Tom Sears, David Hauk getting into a spot of trouble. The number 21 Barstool Sports Ford Mustang to the inside of Brooklyn's Nick Pressey. Out of 4, Honeybring, Simkowski, Ray, top 3. Fuel range a bit shorter than we estimated. Drivers able to stretch the mileage out to about 40-ish laps tonight. The stage is ending at laps 35, 70, and the race end at 130. The points, as you see them, Jeremy Brio now rocking the bronze medal position in the number 74 Taco Bell Chevrolet. Battling to the inside of Arkansas, Donald Ray in the number 14 Mustang. Brio leading the di9 points by a comfortable margin. 2nd through 15th, however, separated by fewer than 70 points with half the season remaining. Honeybring barely hanging on to that lead as the number 99 Auto Nation Mustang of Al Simkowski comes to his outside and tucks in just behind Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet, your top 3. Donald Ray challenging to the inside, coming out of turn number 4. Donald Ray, a winner this calendar year in Thursday Night Thunder, trying to get a win in Monday Night Lightning. Simkowski now leading this race. New leader into the number 99 Auto Nation Mustang. Simkowski joining the ranks as an IndyCar driver. More knowledgeable with the open wheel part of ARCs. Now joining the regular stock car ranks, leading round number 6 at Atlanta. John Honeybrink now running in the 6th position. Falling from the front of the field, starting to the inside of row number 1 when the green flag flew. Honeybrink now sitting in 6th, trying to hang on to that 7th spot. Here comes the pride of North Carolina, Dustin Painter, 9 laps into this race. Trailing behind, and then Southern Massachusetts, Tom Sears into the interesting, what looks like lightning to me. It is something out of NASCAR Thunder 2003. The Lightning, number 19, Interstate Batteries Camry trailing. I think that's Tecate Let asks, is this the race where Davy Jones is? You've got the stream right there. David Houck running in the 4th position in the number 21 Barstool Sports Ford, riding behind Nick Pressey. Another Ford Mustang. That's 4 Fords sitting in the top 4. Seth Wansing in the 5th position, rounding out the top 5. Davy Jones, as he's known, through the garage. Coming up behind Pressey. Moving up through the field now, challenging for a spot on the tentative podium. Donald Ray making his way up to the 2nd spot. Cap Pennell says, come on, Stitch. As he's known. For those that know, Al Simkowski leading this race, leading the most laps so far, and by 1/3 of a second now to Donald Ray. A fan of the Razorbacks, a fan of the blue oval, and carrying that blue oval flag proudly for the Fords in the top 4, but now Seth Wansing trying to break his way in. The number 9, A-Shock Chevrolet Camaro, now being challenged by Dustin Painter to his inside. Painter in the 49, giving a hard time to Wansing in the 9. And riding in tandem with Tom Sears right behind him. Connecticut's Thomas Andrews in the number 2 Money Lion Ford, starting his ARCS ranks in that number 2 in Thursday Night Thunder. Donald Ray now finding pressure from David Houck in the number 21, who's worked his way up to 3rd. Nick Pressey losing control out of 2, side by side. Painter and Honeybrink now through turn number 3. Wansing gets into 4th in the number 9 A-Shock car. You call that red orange, black, blood orange? It's vibrant. You can see it for miles, and you can see it in 4th. 8 spots since the green flag went into the air. Seth Wansing makes his way into 4th. Nick Pressey sitting in the 5th spot, sliding back a bit from the start, but still within striking distance. Dustin Painter now coming up behind him, using the draft at Atlanta. You might hear that more at a super speedway, but it's fast enough to where it's going to have an effect. Dustin Painter in the 49 car using that speed, and there's David Houck in the 21, who's just hit the wall out of turn number 2, losing 3rd. Slips into 4th. Behind him, Dustin Painter in 5th. Houck behind Pressey, challenging for 3rd. 17 laps underway at Atlanta. There's the gap Al Simkowski has to Donald Ray, sitting in the 2nd position. And now single file, top well, they were single file. I was going to say top 6 cars. Now they break into high, middle, low out of the 4th corner, led by Pressy in the 94. Yet to win a race in Monday Night Lightning. Tecate Led says DJ Hawk. Come on, DJ Hawk rooting for the number 21, David Hawk, sitting in that Barstool Sports Ford. Seth Wanting was inside in the number 9, sitting 1 second behind the leader, but still charging hard for that 5th position. Launching to the inside of Hauk, these two still fighting for the spot. That's Honeybrink, who's gotten loose and now falling behind single file as they run. Top 7 cars, and now they break high, middle, low once again out of 4. 19 laps complete at Atlanta. Points leader Jeremy Brio in a bit of trouble. The number 74. Currently running in the 9th spot coming into this race, brought to you by di9 Designs. Brio with 3 wins this season, leading by a still fragile 48 points, it looks like. If my math is right, which it never is. Donald Ray running in the 2nd spot in the number 14 car. Kind of a gap to Simkowski as they run so far. There's Simkowski leading. Donald Ray sitting behind him by 0.4 of a second. On the left-hand side of the screen, showing the best time now, Simkowski leading the race. How far? Best time, not as fast as Donald Ray, only 2/100ths quicker that last time around. Simkowski running 32.41, Ray 32.25, quicker by 0.2 of a second. Drivers say they can go about 40 laps on a fuel run, but will the tires go that long? Atlanta notorious for chewing up the life of those tires. How long will they go? When will we see these tires force driver error? Ryan Twin, go ahead and drop me a tweet at Rick James TV on Twitter. Send me a DM. Downton Gaming saying, go, Stitch, go, cheering for the race leader, Allison Kowski, who's now facing extreme pressure from Donald Ray in the 14, right behind him. The last time, both drivers equal in time. This time around, Ray quicker by 0.2, using the draft to get close to Simkowski. Ray in the 14. Is he attempting a pass? Ray grinding against the safer barrier out of 2, losing an immense amount of time. Headed into 3. Wansing with pressure from Pressy behind him, now within striking distance of 2nd. 25 laps now into this race. Honeybrink, who started this race on the pole, now sitting 7th. Tom Sears just behind him coming out of turn number 2. He can see Honeybrink in front of him. Is Honeybrink saving the tires for the end of this run? The stage end. Coming in just 10 more laps as Al Simkowski leads around. Vols fan with a kiss emoji. Love you too, buddy. I hope you're doing well. Send my love to Mama Vols as well. Bama Trama, one of my biggest fans and contributors to the stream. Love you so much, Mama Vols. I hope you're doing well. K. Harvick fan 429 says, I love Atlanta. What's going on, Kev? Glad to have you here, buddy. A good friend of mine, K. Harvick fan. Love to see him in the chats as well. We'd love to see the action as well. But hopefully everybody makes it through without much carnage. Nick Pressey in the 94, now running ahead of Dustin Painter into the 49. Let's get rid of that. There we go. David Houck slipping back into the 6th spot. John Honeybrink behind him. Tom Sears running into the 8th spot, with Jeremy Brio, the championship leader, now closing the gap. Brio getting awfully close to that white line, and you can see it shot him up the racetrack. Brio now sitting in the 9th spot. His last time around, Brio running 32.62. A 1/10 of a second slower than Simkowski. We'll see this time around. Wansing now moving into the 2nd spot, challenging Donald Ray side by side out of 2. Through the 2nd corner now, Donald Ray on the outside of Seth Wansing. Dustin Painter sitting 4th. Nick Pressey right behind him into the number 49 Chevrolet. David Houck into the number 21 Ford, closing the gap, running 6th. John Honeybrink into the number 20 Camry, just behind in 7th. Massachusetts Tom Sears now spreading the gap, sitting in 8th. Al Simkowski, though, closer than ever. The current gap, 2 seconds from 1st to 2nd. Simkowski extending that gap out to 2 seconds now. The gap, 2 seconds on paper sounds like one thing, but when you see it on a racetrack, especially with this mess for 3rd, as Repeat would call it, a hornet's nest. 2nd through 4th, Wansing, Ray, Painter. 2 seconds off of the leader between 4th and 1st. Wansing starting to close the gap. He's up 10 spots since the race started. Pressey, the pride of Brooklyn, New York, running 5th, but now bouncing off that white line. David Houck and John Honeybrink right behind him. The number 4 of Jacob Fifield. Running on the inside and slow in the number 4, Busch Ford, trying to make up the gap. Running 1 lap down in the 11th spot. I'm sorry, 2 laps down in the 11th spot. As the stage is about to come to an end, Al Simkowski still sitting in the 1st spot. Looks like he's going to claim this one. Claim those first stage points. Seth Wansing right behind him in the number 9 car. Going to collect 2nd. Trying to get his first win in Monday Night Lightning this season, with Al Simkowski leading this race. Max stage points will go to the 99. A battle for 3rd as we come to the final lap. 49 to the inside of the 14. Ray versus Painter. Down the back straight, the 14. Donald Ray on the outside, almost making contact with Dustin Painter through the 4th corner. Painter now has the advantage out of 4. Side by side, Simkowski, Wansing, the fight for 3rd to the line. Donald Ray Dustin Painter. Nick Pressey, 3rd, 4th, and 5th in stage number 1. Al Simkowski getting the stage win. Fans at home are going to take a quick 60-second break. Maverick Moose says Moose is in the building. I may be biased, but the 9 is dope. He's talking about the number 9 of Seth Wansing. Collecting 2nd place in the stage, the number 9 car. Running 2nd. You gotta say it does look kind of dope. I mean, you know, it's one of the brightest things out there. That's cool. So now, 36 laps now underway. We're going to take that 60-second break. We'll be back. And after that 60-second break, we'll actually be ad-free for 21 minutes, which is also pretty cool. So you got a minute to stretch your legs, grab a snack, get something to drink. I'm going to do the same, and we'll be back here in 60. If you're watching the live stream and you're still with us, you are a subscriber to Rick James TV. We appreciate you so much. Thanks for sticking around. Thanks for being a subscriber, too. Whether you're subscribed through Twitch or Amazon, that's cool. And if you didn't know, that's also cool. That's actually something that I do. I subscribe to our, how do I explain it? You combine your Amazon with your Twitch. So you get what's called Prime Gaming, I think it's called now. You get, what is it? You get loot for your games every single month. I think you get loot for Grand Theft Auto. You get loot for Red Dead Online now. You get loot for Fortnite, Apex Predators, all sorts of games. They give you free games every month as well. So if you already have Prime, combine it with your Twitch, get Prime Gaming, and then you can get a bunch of loot every single month, and you get one free subscription on Twitch. So why not make that Rick James TV go ad-free? It's pretty cool. All that brought to you by the good folks over at di9 Designs. We're going to get in with them in a minute here. As I understand it, they're pretty good at these Chase Elliott schemes. di9 Designs, actually, you might as well call them like an unofficial custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. You can find them at di9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week, on top of taking requests on all type of logos like Chase Elliott wallpapers, iRacing schemes. You can follow and DM them for more details. They're officially not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott, but you want to talk about dope paint schemes, di9 Designs does it all. Forza Motorsport, they do some pretty cool stuff for NASCAR Heat 5, which, you know, is limited. But, you know, they do a fantastic job, and glad to see a little bit of rep for the 9. Don't know why the camera does that. It's pretty cool though. Drivers doubling up, that means they get the 1 to go signal. Bama Trama's in the house. Mama Vols, glad to have you here, ma'am. Thank you so much for showing up. I hope you're doing well. Send my love out to your family. Vols was in here earlier. I hope he's doing well too. Winner of the first stage, Al Simkowski, leading Seth Wansing, Dustin Painter on the inside of row 3, John Honeybrink, row 2 on the, in the 3rd position, John Honeybrink to his outside on row 3. You may be a fan of Raisin Bran and the Arkansas Razorbacks, but Donald Ray is a fantastic driver. He sits in the inside of row number 4, sitting 7th, mounting a challenge for that lead on Simkowski. Will he have the same fortune? Green flag is out in stage number 2. Simkowski with a jump. Nick Pressey on the outside. Carrying the pride of Brooklyn, New York, trying to get into that top three. He showed flashes of brilliance in the first stage, now mounting a drive behind John Honeybrink, who went through a slide in that first stage, sitting in the third position now. Ford, Chevy, Toyota, the top three separated by 0.3 of a second. 42 laps now underway in stage number 2. Fastest times on the track so far. David Houck with a 30.68, it looks like, unless it's an 88. No, left. The pole sitter, Honeybrink, in that first spot now, back to the point on the outside in 3. Nick Pressey making a challenge for the second position in the number 94. He's got the points leader, Jeremy Brio, now to his inside. Not collecting as many stage points as you'd imagine in stage number 1, but he wants the race win. Donald Ray to the outside, smashes against the safer barrier in turn number 1. Houck to his inside to round out the top 5. Seth Wansing now to the inside of the number 14 into 3. Kay Harvick fan says now they're going to have to start brainstorming ideas for the new NASCAR game that's coming out, because it's going to have a real paint booth. That's going to be something fantastic. A real paint booth in a NASCAR heat game is something that I personally haven't seen since NASCAR 14. It's gonna be fun to watch. Just the creativity that comes with a genuine paint booth, seeing what drivers can create. I mean, we already see it here with paint schemes that are brand new, like the 9 of Seth Wansing. Then you see paint schemes from different racing disciplines, like Al Simkowski in the 99. If you didn't see the Indianapolis 500 this year, that's the winning paint scheme, or livery if you're from the IndyCar world. The number 99 AutoNation Ford of Al Simkowski challenging to the inside of John Honeybrink for the first spot. 47 laps underway in Hotlanta, for those that know. Actually, I don't know anybody that still calls it Hotlanta, for real. But Simkowski now losing that top spot for now. Honeybrink to the outside. People still call it Hotlanta. Yeah. No, okay, so apparently people in a genuine way don't call it Hotlanta. Okay, so we'll stop saying that, because it's corny. John Honeybrink leading his race in the number 20 Toyota Camry. Pressey to the outside, careful not to make contact with the outside wall of turn 2. But still with his foot on the gas to the inside, making a tough challenge. Honeybrink having to do some mirror driving in the number 20. Brio in the third spot. Up 4 spots since he started this race. Houck behind him in 4th, rocking the red, white, and blue of Barstool Sports. And then Al Simkowski, your stage 1 winner, sitting in the 5th spot. Stage number 2 will come to a conclusion at lap 70. Mark Martin Forever says, go Houck. K. Harvick fan 429 says, exactly. I think he's talking about what we were saying during the caution period, I think, or earlier, about NASCAR Heat 5 and their paint booth compared to what we will have and the creativity that we'll have from the paint booth. And something that the folks at di9 Designs know about. They're kind enough to bring us this race. di9 Designs as Jeremy Brio almost losing third spot out of turn number 4, now challenged by David Hauk behind him. Out of the fourth corner, Honeybrink in the lead with Pressey behind him. Brio sitting third. With David Hauk still behind him, but Brio now has his feet under him. With Nick Pressey diving to the inside, you see he bounced off the white line on the inside out of turn number 2. Honeybrink now making the challenge for the top spot down the back straight. Honeybrink's leading into 3. Will he make it stick? That white line can be so unforgiving when drivers come across it so hard. And this Atlanta surface, being unforgiving, will chew these tires if you make the wrong move. Honeybrink still on the inside, 2 by 2, 2 rows deep, 53 laps in. Hauk getting loose out of 2. Al Stitch Simkowski making contact with the outside wall. Stitch, actually his middle name given to him. Stitch now on the outside of the dogleg, losing the 5th spot, now back to 6th. Don't ask me how he got it, I have no idea. He hasn't told a soul, but that's his middle name, Stitch. Out of the second corner, losing 5th into 6th. Dustin Painter well behind him out of turn number 2. Tom Sears making the challenge. Seth Wanting now to the inside. Jeremy Brio sitting in 3rd, now 4th. Down to 4th. Simkowski now behind him, looking at 5th. Meanwhile, Brooklyn's Nick Pressey, new leader, and he's made it stick this time around. Honeybrink in 2nd, single file so far. The number 9 of Wanting having a momentary blink there. Hopefully that's a solid internet connection from here on out. He makes solid contact with the inside of the white line out of turn number 2. Wanting now behind the 20 of Honeybrink into 3. Simkowski in 4th, challenging for 3rd out of 4. Pressey, Hauk, Brio, Ford, Chevrolet as they come across the line. Last time by, Hauk quicker by 1/10 of a second. Brio fastest of them all that last time around, 32.1. And the gap between the top 10, almost 3 seconds compared to the gap between the top 6, which is no more than, just a little more now than half a second, as Honeybrink loses ground on the top 5 after a fantastic start. Amazing action so far, but not Donald Ray. Who is that? Is that Tom Andrews? That is Thomas Andrews going for a spill. Thomas Andrews almost coming down pit lane. No idea what happened there. Pressey leading this race for now, but here comes the number 9 of Seth Wanting to his inside into 3. 2 by 2 once again, 2 rows deep, 9 to the inside, 94 to his outside, 74, 21, locked nose to nose, or neck and neck. Wreck out of turn number 2. The 21 of Hauk. Will he save it up against the wall? The 74 of Brio, the points leader. Smoke coming from his car. He's safe again as Hauk makes contact with the wall one more time. Donald Ray having to slam on the brakes to avoid contact. Did he make contact with the 21? And I can't tell if that's the paint scheme or if that's damage to the 14 of Donald Ray. Looks to be all right. He's going to avoid pit lane this time by, so the 14 thinks he's okay. Nick Pressey leading this race in the number 94. Seth Wansing sitting in the second position. Al Simkowski sitting in third. Big shout out to the folks over at di9 Designs, a Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at di9 Designs. They post graphics on all platforms multiple times a week, on top of taking requests on all types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, iRacing schemes. Follow and DM them for more details. They are not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. Hit them up at di9 Designs. They're actually pretty fantastic. Hey, Harvick fans saying F in the chat. That, it's appropriate, right? It's F for David Hauk there. That's some scary contact there in that 21. But the show goes on, and so does David Hauk. He slams against the wall 62 laps into this race. Being scored in the first position. Looks like Hauk uses a fast repair to get that damage taken care of. A nice and shiny number 21 Barstool Sports Ford leading this race. 8 spots up since the race started. Nick Pressey in the number 94 Estetes Ford, sitting in the second spot ahead of Kansas City's Seth Wansing in third. The pride of North Carolina, Dustin Painter, running ahead of Al Simkowski. Tom Sears in the number 19, lightning colored. I love this one. This is one of the best looking ones this week. Normally Trey Kirk runs the Jeff Gordon 1990s scheme, and fantastic, because that's the paint scheme that a lot of us grew up watching, and we saw him win a lot. So wow, what a car. So that's awesome. That's a pretty good throwback. But this one, I can't tell if this is a recent throwback or not. But and throwback's an oxymoron if it's recent, isn't it? But that's not the point. The number 19 of Tom Sears, sitting in the 5th spot in the number 19 car. Nick Pressey leading this race in the number 94. Let's see if we can bother the race leader for a word before we get back to action here. Nick Pressey, Rick James in the booth. You got me?
Yes. Hello. How are you doing?
Nick Pressey, good to hear you, buddy. I'm doing fantastic. How's your race going? You're leading so far. The stage winner, Al Simkowski, sitting in the 4th spot right now. How do you feel about your chances for the end of the stage? We're going to restart with about less than 10 to go here.
Well, let me
a lot
tell you,
less
the
than
race
10 to
has
go.
been really intense. I think this is either going to be very entertaining or we're going to call it caution before we reach turn 3.
Checkers the records kind of situation. So it sounds like it's a fun race so far. I'm glad you're having a good time. The number 9 of Nick Pressey, or I'm sorry, the number 9 of Seth Wansing to your outside as we're about to restart this race. Now, the most important thing anybody's going to ask you today, Nick, what is your favorite candy bar?
Favorite candy bar? Around Christmas time, M&M releases those candy bars with the M&Ms in them. I've always loved those.
Okay. All right, those are pretty good. You know what? We'll take that. We'll take special edition as well. So that's a good shout out to special edition candy bars. Nick Pressey, good luck for the rest of this race, my friend. Have fun.
you very much.
Wanting to his outside, getting ready to go racing one more time. Jeremy Brio, the points leader, getting in a spot of trouble. Now sitting at the back with stage number 2 coming to a close. Will the points leader bounce back from this? Will Nick Pressey hang on for a stage win? We've got 11 laps to the end of stage 2. Green flag is out. Seth Wansing to the point as Nick Pressey collides off the white line, now rising out of turn number 2 right into the path of Al Simkowski, who sits behind the number 99. Currently riding in the 3rd spot, but Donald Ray to his outside with the number 19 behind him. The number 49 of Dustin Painter sitting to the inside, trying to take the 5th spot from Sears. Avoiding contact at all costs. They don't want to cause a spill this late in the stage. Lap 70 is when we'll throw the curtains up on stage number 2. Seth Wansing leading this race. Nick Pressey sitting in the 2nd spot. Donald Ray sitting in the 3rd position. Tom Sears riding in 4th with John Honeybrink coming up behind. Currently it's Al Simkowski, who was rounding out the top 5, but now the 99 car. Falling behind, single file out of the 2nd corner. Car 99 losing a bit of control out of turn number 2. Are the tires starting to give? The number 94 with a dive into turn 4. Donald Ray coming up high, but it's a nice save. 2 laps to go in stage 2. 3 wide into 1. Hauk having to check up so he doesn't just bounce off the white line. Still 3 abreast out of the 2nd corner. The 20 of Honeybrink. Careful not to ping pong out of turn number 2. There it is. There's the crash. The number 14 of Ray sliding down to the inside. Hauk makes it through. Let's back that one up and see what happened here. Looks like it starts with the 20 of Honeybrink, who's just losing control. The 21 of Hauk. Nothing you could do at that point. And we said earlier, careful that he doesn't, pinball off the inside of these cars. Let's run it real slow and take a closer look. But here by this time it's already over. By this time Honeybrink is doing his best to save the car, and at this point it's hard enough holding the car together, and it looks like it looks like the 21 of Hauk is trying to set up for the entrance of turn number 3. Honeybrink's just trying to keep his foot in the gas coming to the end of stage 2. As he should, keep your foot on the gas coming to the end of the stage. And in all the trouble, we actually completely missed the end of stage number 2. Everyone coming down pit road. John Honeybrink coming around. It looked like Al Simkowski won the stage. We'll check the standings there. That's 100% my fault for missing the end of the stage. One driver of note who's not here tonight Atlanta, Georgia's Ryan Pinnell. Probably a little too tired from having too much fun at the race on Sunday. Ryan, if you're watching, we hope you're having a good time. But John Honeybrink being scored as the leader, but no doubt he'll have to come down pit road and assess what is now a crumpled number 20 U.S. Camry. And if somebody knows, educate me. If you could tell me what the... Oh, it's Navy. Okay. I've been wondering for a minute what branch of the military he's been supporting on the hood, and it's the Navy. I think I might have misnamed it in earlier weeks. My bad. I didn't know, but now we take a closer look, and now we know it's the Navy. And it looks like he just fixed everything up right there, coming into stage number 3. Honeybrink using a fast repair, riding 6th, and he's got a shiny number 20 Camry that he's ready to bring out for the 3rd stage. Nick Pressey leading so far in the number 94. Seth Wansing just behind him in the number 9. Seth, who's been plagued earlier this year with internet issues, now sitting 2nd, and so far none to account of Tom Sears behind him in the number 19 Interstate Batteries Camry. We'll stay, we won't throw up a 60-second break right now, but if we get a caution between here and the end of the race, we will throw up another 60-second break, and then we'll be ad-free to the end of the show. Maverick Moose, Seafoot Racing, Mark Martin Fever, and this was a while ago, and I should have said something earlier, I apologize. Mark Martin Fever saying, calm down, 21. Seafoot Racing, showing some love. Thank you, Seafoot. Showing some love for di9 Designs. They bring us this race today. And recently, I had the pleasure of doing the Cluck Clash with Seafoot Racing. We did Monaco, the full distance Grand Prix of Monaco, the Indianapolis 500, and the World 600 as it used to be known, but the Coke 600 as it's now known. All full distance. Actually, a really, really fun weekend. And I was grateful for that. So thank you, Seafoot, for that, and thank you for showing some love. Kay Harvick fan talking about wow, and it was a pretty big crash there. Maverick Moose throwing up a what face, and Arcs Racing Networks. Yikes! David strikes again. They're talking about the 21 of David Hauk. On the inside of the 74, Jeremy Brio to his outside. Making his way through the field. Looks like they're going to get lined up for the start of stage number 3, the final stage of racing. So we'll go from 70 laps to 130 laps. They're throwing the green flag now. Kind of a messy lineup, but here we go. Nick Pressey to the lead. Tom Sears now in the 2nd spot. Mustang, Camry, Camaro, your top 3. Thomas Andrews in 4th. Dustin Painter rocking in the 6th spot. Jacob Byfield sitting in 7th. Alex Simkowski in 8th. Challenging to the inside of Fifield. Busch Ford against the AutoNation Ford coming out of turn number 2. Thankfully not coming together, still keeping the cars in one piece. Hauk in the 10th spot. Been involved in a couple of incidents tonight. And you can see one of those incidents on the inside of the 14 of Donald Ray. Shiny Mustang no more, but he's still in the top 10. The points leader, Jeremy Brio, running 1 lap down. As the di9 Design points say, Brio comes into this race leading in the points, holding 218 points with 30 stage points to account for this season. David Hauk sitting in the 10th spot with the most stage points this season, 35 to be exact. Cody Pennell not present tonight, running 162 points, sitting in the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, John Honeybrink to the point in the number 20 car. Honeybrink, Sears, Wansing, your top 3. Pressey running 4th, and it's Andrews in the 5th spot with Simkowski bringing up the end of the top 6, top 5 all in a row, and Simkowski leads. He is the best of the rest. 78 laps almost complete at Atlanta. Big shout out to Terry Gabbard, who's being scored out in 12th spot. Terry's actually running race control for us tonight. I believe he has been since the beginning of the season. Thank you, Terry. Honeybrink to the inside of Seth Wansing. Honeybrink looking for the lead. He's got it into 3, and it's a 2 Toyota train on the inside of Seth Wansing. Out of 3, into 4. Out of 4th, it's the Ford of Nick Pressey. 80 laps underway, 51 to go in round 6. Wansing going for the lead on the inside of Honeybrink, out of 4. Just on the edge of the lead, but now losing it once again. Honeybrink running the longer distance, but using more momentum and speed out of the high line to take the lead. Now they're 2 by 2, 2 rows deep. Sears in 4th, looking for 3rd. Wansing really coming down to the inside. As tight as he can, but you can see it cuts off all his exit speed. Wansing drops back into the 3rd spot. New leader, John Honeybrink. Thomas Andrews, Connecticut's very own, sitting in the 5th spot with Al Simkowski sitting in the 6th position. John Honeybrink leading this race with Nick Pressey behind him in the 94. Seth Wansing bringing up the back of the podium, coming right down on the white line. It's really going to kill his exit speed out of 4, or will it? He timed it perfectly, right with the entrance of pit lane. Now to the inside of Nick Pressey. Careful not to come off the white line this time. He does come beneath it. Pressey to the high side. He's got more momentum down the back. There's Pressey now on the outside, using the better exit speed to hold on to 2nd for now, but now Tom Sears in 4th. Inside or outside? Let's see. Sears looks like he's going to the outside, trying to hang on for 3rd. I would love to watch this in VR. One of those virtual reality headsets. Just through that gyrocam, just to see. Well, that'd be pretty cool if you could put that on a simulation rig just to feel that. As far as the NASCAR Cup Series is concerned, that'll be the last time they feel banking like that at the real Atlanta Motor Speedway. They're changing the banking. They're really cutting it down. They're making the track more narrow, and you might not see stuff like that come out so clean, for lack of a better term. Pressey, Sears, Wansing second, third, and fourth. Pressey, who's up 8 spots since the start of the green flag. Wansing likewise, but looking at the podium. Honeybrink now leading in stage 3 by 0.4 of a second, almost half a second now as they fight for second. Wansing to the inside of Pressey, almost making contact into one. Sears taking advantage. You can see the scarring on the outside of the number 19. Interstate Batteries, Camry, Andrews going for a ride, losing control. Hold on to it, Tom. Scars on the outside of the number 2 Money Lion Ford, but he hangs on to that one. Shiny side to the left, and keep it pointed in that direction. Thomas Andrews still holds on to the back end of the top 5, but Simkowski quickly approaching in the 99. If a caution does come out between now and the end of the race, we will go to a 60-second break just to go ad-free to the end of the race. Battle for third. Tom Sears to the inside of Nick Pressey. These two a full second behind the leader. John Honeybrink leading by 0.3 of a second. Tom Sears sitting in the third spot. Toyota, Chevy, Toyota, your top 3. Last time around, the leader with a 31.99. Sears 6/100ths quicker with a 31.93. Wansing sandwiched in the middle of the Toyotas. If you haven't been to the Atlanta Motor Speedway, it is quite the impressive facility. Do yourself a favor, go check it out as we approach 25 laps to go. John Honeybrink leading this race. This will be the second time the Atlanta Motor Speedway gets a reconfiguration that I know of. Or a major reconfiguration to say the least. I think up until the 1996 season, the front stretch, as we know it, used to be the back stretch, and the dog leg wasn't there. So then in 1997, they changed the format, something that looks identical to Texas or Charlotte Motor Speedway. They've been racing like that ever since, but now they're going to take this banking I believe somewhere in the close to the high 20 degrees. They're going to take it down to 24 degrees, as I understand it, and they're going to make the track more narrow. It's going to make the racing a lot closer, and it's going to make something fantastic. But for now, Mark Martin forever says car off the bottom. A fan of the 21, David Houck. I don't know if he's talking about the 21 car. David Houck on the brink of the top 10, sitting 9th, just ahead of the points leader, Jeremy Brio. The last time around, it's the 19 and the 9 swapping spots. Sears and Wansing fighting hard for the second position. Brooklyn's Nick Pressey barely hanging on to fourth. Al Simkowski closing the gap in fifth. Honeybrink leading this race. John Honeybrink running 7th in points with an average finish of 9th. Cody Pennell sitting 3rd in points with 1 win so far. Only 2 drivers have a worse average finish than John Honeybrink, but here he sits in the lead. Quickly approaching 30 laps to go in this race. I said 25 laps to go earlier. I know my math is terrible. Honeybrink, Sears, Wansing, Toyota, Chevrolet, but now here comes the A-Shock Chevy of Seth Wansing to the inside of the 19. He's got a good run out of turn number 2, but Tom Sears on the outside using that exit momentum out of 2. The longer distance around the corners means a higher exit speed if you keep the car under control, but obviously you have the threat of the wall on the outside that can get out and bite you. Seth Wansing closing off too much exit speed out of turn number 4, losing that fight for second, but he'll try again one more time. 30 laps to go this time by, and John Honeybrink, this is exactly what he wants to see, running away with this lead in the number 20 car. Last time around, Honeybrink quicker by 1/10 of a second. Tom Sears on the outside of Seth Wansing. Still hanging on to second, but now this time it's the KC Masterpiece on the outside line, trying to use greater exit speed to enter the corner. Now to the inside of turn number 1. Wansing has a great run out of the corner, but he'll have to tuck in behind Southern Massachusetts' Tom Sears. The last time by, Sears quicker than the leader by 0.2 of a second. Take a look on the left with 29 laps to go this time by. Honeybrink with the 32.26 and Sears 2/100ths quicker. So these drivers will have to come to a pit stop sooner rather than later unless they dare wear the tires down to nothing. Honeybrink only leading by 0.3 of a second. Quickly approaching 25 laps to go. Simkowski sitting in the 4th spot. Dustin Painter, who's riding along in 5th. Fifield sitting 6th. Doing well after coming out 2 laps down in that first stage. Can't tell if he used a fast repair or not. But doing well, nevertheless. Fifield sitting in the 6th spot. Honeybrink up in the lead with Tom Sears still only 0.3 behind. K. Harvick fan 429 says the track used to look similar to Homestead, and K. Harvick fan says it's 24 degrees of banking and they're adding 4 and making the track more narrow. So it's going to be 28 degrees and 40 feet wide, 15 feet shorter than what it is, 15 feet more narrow than what it is now, and 15 feet may not sound a lot. 4 degrees may not sound a lot, but 4 degrees of banking is for the next-gen race cars that are so handling sensitive. As Seth Wansing blinks, Seth Wansing, let's catch up with the 9 car. He's fine. He's good. 25 laps to go. He's been plagued by internet connections earlier this year with 25 laps to go. The KC Masterpiece, as he's known around the garage, the Discord garage, sitting in 3rd. Did a wreck behind him. Simkowski getting into some trouble. Slow out of turn number 4. Let's run this one back and see exactly what's gone on. Simkowski down pit road. We stay green. Let's have a roll back and take a look. Looks like Simkowski had Fifield behind him. Simkowski just slow. Looks like he's just coming down pit road. Nothing wrong with the 19 at all. The 19 of Tom Sears, however, to the front with John Honeybrink to his outside. Dustin Painter being scored in the 3rd position in car 49. No, and we're... There we go. My mistake. Tom Sears now to the front of this race, but slowing down, coming down for pit stops. He's coming down incredibly quick. The number 19 losing control of his race car down to the inside. Now 4 seconds off the leader, Honeybrink, who's come down pit road, and a terrible time to have an accident with 22 laps to go. Connecticut's Thomas Andrews now to the point. Andrews leading this race with green flag pit stops currently underway. Jeremy Brio, the points leader, moves into 2nd with 20 laps to go. Brio, who found himself 1 lap down, 27 seconds off the top spot. There's Brio. Let's bring it to a wider view. There's Brio in the 74. There's Andrews in the 2. It looks like Andrews is behind Brio, but no, that's not the case. That's just what 28 seconds of difference looks like, and it looks like Brio comes down pit road, and he will lose that 2nd spot. He's going to get tires and fuel. 19 laps to go. Thomas Andrews still leading this race, but he has not pitted since lap 70. Everybody else now pitting at lap 104, 107, 106 for Pressey, Wansing, and Simkowski, as they now get their laps back from Thomas Andrews. Still staying out with a battle-wounded number 2, Money Lion Ford, but he soldiers on. 18 laps to go in this 6th round of racing. Brought to you by the good folks at di9 Designs. Still leading this race by 24 seconds. Nick Pressey is going to be the next to get his lap back from Thomas Andrews when he does come down pit road. Al Simkowski sitting in the 4th spot. These drivers getting in line for what's going to be a tight shootout to the finish. These cars with cold tires are going to lose a little bit of control. Kay Harvick fan says RIP. And there's Thomas Andrews, who comes down pit road smoking at an extreme rate of speed for what you imagine to be a bit quicker than the speed limit allows. We'll see if he comes out on time or if it's, you know, a penalty. He's going to get that speeding ticket. Thomas Andrews, pit road time. Already half a minute down pit road as drivers go around him. And it looks like it is indeed a penalty for Thomas Andrews, sitting there, coming at an incredible rate of speed. Nick Pressey, now your new leader, coming to 15 laps to go with Seth Wansing sitting in the 2nd spot. Al Simkowski riding in the 3rd position. David Houken 4th. Tom Sears sitting in 5th. Fifield in 6th, and Dustin Painter in the 7th position. Jeremy Brio riding 8th, the points leader, 1 lap down. And he's going to lose an incredible amount of points. Well, not lose points, but the gap is going to be considerably shorter. Brio in the 74 car only leading David Houck by 48 points. Houck sitting in the 5th position. He's going to close that gap considerably. The number 14 laps to go. Nick Pressey leading the number 14 of Donald Ray, sitting in the 9th spot. The last car 1 lap down. He needs to pass Jeremy Brio, who's now exiting turn number 4 a lap down. There's Ray now entering turn 3, so it's going to be a struggle for Ray to get his lap back with lucky number 13 laps to go. Pressey leading up front in the 9. Battle for the lead. Nick Pressey now losing that lead to Seth Wansing out of turn number 2. It's going to be 11 laps to go side by side into turn number 3. Both of these cars fighting hard, using all that their tires have to give. Tom Sears in the 3rd position, some distance behind, and that's Thomas Andrews in the 2 car, who's 2 laps down, riding at the tail end of the top 10. John Honeybrink sitting 11th, 2 laps down. A good start for Honeybrink in the 20 U.S. Navy Camry, even with that fast repair. Still fighting strong. That's what we love to see. Seth Wansing to the front of the field with Tom Andrews now to his inside, fighting for his lap back. Wansing wisely letting him go to the front. Andrews at the same time fighting hard to get one of his laps back. You never know. One caution, they get bunched up. Another caution. With some clever driving, Andrews is back on the lead lap in a green-white checker situation. Wansing leading this race with Pressey sitting in the 2nd spot. Tom Sears rolling in 3rd in the number 19. '94 getting up close to the number 9 through 3. The 9 of Seth Wanting to the inside. Coming out of the fourth corner. Wansing running 17th in points. Holding on to this lead, will he be able to hold off Brooklyn's Nick Pressey? Wansing, no wins this season, but obviously running a limited schedule. An average finish of third every time he gets into one of these race cars. The number 9 of Seth Wansing leading the number 94 of Nick Pressey out of the second corner. Wansing getting loose out of turn number 2. Are the tires starting to give out? Pressey now to the inside. Brooklyn, New York's Nick Pressey almost making contact with the 9 into 3. Wansing needs to hang on to that car. A bit of bravery could cost him everything. 6 to go this time by. Contact and a wreck. Pressey moving up and getting into the 9 of Wansing. They both make it through unharmed. We stay green at Atlanta. Glove save from the number 9 of Seth Wansing. Just fantastic contact. And the wall. Sometimes it's like the goalposts. Sometimes it's your best friend. Sometimes it's your worst enemy. Nick Pressey getting a bit up close and personal with the back end of Seth Wansing's number 9 Chevy Camaro. But everything's all good. Coming to 4 laps to go. Wansing ahead of Pressey. Tom Sears in a very distant third place. The number 19 car. $1:30, coming to 3 laps to go. A good run for Sears this far. Tom Sears sitting 10th in the points, and the podium will do him good, but now there's a wreck out of turn number 2. Sears to the lead. Simkowski's in second. Fifield is in third, and it's going to be a green-white checker to settle DIY Monday night at Atlanta. Look at that. Wansing in big trouble. The number 94 of Pressey in deep trouble. Heavy, heavy contact. And the number 9 of Wansing not happy at all. Oh no. Oh, save it, Seth. Save it. Nick Pressey coming right behind him and missing. Seth Wansing. Jacob Fifield rolling 4th. Seth Wansing now into the 8th spot. Coming down pit road at a high rate of speed. He is... It looks from here he's visibly upset. Let's have a look, and we've got the wrong imaging for this. My apologies. We'll have that fixed for next week. But shout out to the BLR Truck Series, a part of OG Racing. We appreciate you guys very, very much. Let's take a look here. All right, well before this, it looks like. No, this is well earlier. Goodness. All right, let's take a look here. Oh, they're already wrecking at this point. Let's take a look. All right, there's Seth Wansing already. Let's get a close look and see exactly what happened between these two. The number 9 to the inside, and it looks like it's lap traffic. It's the number 14 of Donald Ray. Was Ray exiting pit road at this point? Let's have a look. By that point, you saw Wansing was just starting to lose the car. Here's Ray, who's already in... He's in trouble. He's loose. And at this point, Ray slow in front of the 9 of Wansing. It looks like Ray was getting out of the way just as the 9 was approaching. And by that point, the 9 of Wansing, whose tires were already starting to go, we saw him losing the car. Matter of fact, let's slow this down and let's have a cockpit view. Take a look at the hands, and there's the correction. There's the correction, and by then he's already lost the car. He's trying to hold on to her. Let's have one more look. Arcs Racing Network saying Seth is pissed. Well, he has every right to be. I wonder for what reason. Donald Ray on the outside line, and it sounded like Wansing kept his foot in it, and he gave it his very best. We're lining up. We're going to have a green-white checker to end this race. 99-19, inside, outside. Al Simkowski leading this race. Will he get the W? Simkowski sitting 11th in points, no wins this season, and an average finish of 12th. Will it be the upset victory for the number 99 Auto Nation Ford? They called Elio's 4th Indianapolis 500 an upset victory. They were insane, but some called it that. It would be something of surprise to see Simkowski get that win. Tom Sears sitting on the outside of row number 1. Round 1 of di9 Monday night will come down to a 2-lap shootout. Pace car peels off. 3 miles to go. Car loose out of turn number 2. It looks like the 21 of David Hauk. It is. Hauk loose out of turn number 2. White flag this time by. Sears leading Simkowski loose out of turn number 4. They have yet to collect the... Oh, huge wreck out of 4. There's Seth Wansing now flying through the air. Hood's gone. They've already collected the white flag before the caution could come out. Racing now to the line. Dustin Painter leading this race. The pride of North Carolina sitting in the 2nd spot behind Sears. David Hauk rolling in the 4th spot, coming to the checkered flag. Tom Sears to the inside, to the outside, blocking Dustin Painter, and it's Tom Sears getting the win at Atlanta. Dustin Painter in 2nd, Jeremy Brio rolling in the 3rd position. The points leader salvaging a podium after being, I believe it was 2 laps down at one point, or only 1 lap down, but still enough to threaten his massive lead, saving what could have been a terrible day coming home 3rd. Dustin Painter, I believe, getting his 2nd win of the season. Those are the points coming into round number 6. There's Southern Massachusetts Tom Sears doing his donuts. Celebrating like a champion. He is the Season 1 Thursday Night Thunder champion. When will we see his greatest console challenge to date? Marshmallow come to the Ark's side and challenge Tom Sears. He's got his win. First win of the season. Dustin Painter, I believe his best finish of the season. Jeremy Brio with this third place, his worst average finish. Donald Ray coming to say hello and greet the race winner. And sounds like the engine just went on the 19. So that's a good time for us to go to a short break. We're going to be back in a couple of minutes with the podium. First, second, and third. Tom Sears, Dustin Painter, Jeremy Brio. Don't go anywhere. Back on the podium with our top three, starting with the number 74 of Jeremy Brio. Jeremy, you came into this race leading the points by 48 markers. You then went a lap down, almost two, and here you are sitting on the podium. Did you think you would be here?
Nah, man, I had a emergency bathroom break in the middle or at the end of stage two, and that's why I went a lap down. And I didn't want to ask for a wave around for a bathroom break. I didn't think that was gonna be fair. So I kind of got lucky with that last caution, and then on the restart, I don't know what the hell Davey was thinking he was doing with a broken car, but he just sat in front of me the entire time on that restart and into turn one, and I bumped him. I didn't mean to spin him or half spin him or whatever the hell happened to him, but he was just so slow, and you can't be, you know, you can't lift on with two to go. So I just bumped him and hoped that it would get him going, but I guess I half spun him, and then he decided to come after me on the cool down lap and be a big tough guy about it. But other than that, I'm kind of surprised I finished third, especially with the emergency bathroom break at the end of stage two.
Come into the race with a points lead, go a lap down because you had to answer the call of nature, and here you are sitting third. Congratulations on that third place finish. Dustin Painter, the pride of North Carolina, now sitting on the second spot. Same question. Did you think you would get that silver medal at the end of the day?
I was really hoping for a late race caution. Had a short run car, pretty much was saving tires most of the race, and was able to. I saw Stitch get loose and knew to go high and avoided the wreck. Probably needed another lap on Lurkin to maybe give Lurkin a chance at maybe getting around him right there. But overall, good race.
Fantastic race, and you're going to soar into the points. I believe it's your best finish this season. Your average finish coming into this race, 8th place. Before we get to our winner, Tom Sears, one more time, a big shout out to the folks at di9 Designs, a Chase Elliott custom graphic design page on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, posting graphics on all platforms multiple times a week, on top of taking requests on all types of logos, Chase Elliott wallpapers, iRacing schemes as well. You can follow and DM them for more details. They're not affiliated with Hendrick Motorsports or Chase Elliott. And if you use the code DI9Designs in the chat, I'm going to put that in the Twitch chat right now, di9 Designs. If I could spell correctly. There we go. di9 Designs in the chat. Use that code on Circle B. I believe it's circlebdiecast.com for free shipping on orders over $20. So next time you go by diecast, circlebdiecast.com. Use that code di9design for free shipping on orders over $20. Tom Sears, my friend, you are tonight's race winner. Congratulations on the gold medal. How'd you do it?
Thanks, man, and thanks for the stream. DIY decided to put on a show. A little thinner of a field tonight than we're used to, but win is a win. Gotta get him where you can. I had some trouble on that last green flag pit stop, me and Jonathan, and I really thought that was it for me. There's no chance. And then Nick and Seth started getting kind of squirrely up front. I was, starting to gain a little bit of hope, and then it finally broke up. I'm not sure if Alex had damage on his car because I couldn't believe how I just flew past him at the end. But I just tried to stick with it and figured how to save my tires. It's just there at the end.
You were there at the end, and you got yourself the win in Di9 Designs Monday night. Congratulations on that, man. We'll see you in a week's time.
Thanks, man.
In 1 week's time, 7 days, we'll be at the New Hampshire Motor Speedway. Round 7 of 10 of Monday Night Lightning coming to you from the Magic Mile. Is that what they call it, the Magic Mile? I think they call it the Magic Mile. Anyway, yes. New Hampshire, thank you. So round 7 coming from the Magic Mile next week. Di9 Designs Monday night. It's going to be a thrill. It's going to be fantastic. You cannot miss it. Give us a follow on Rick James TV on Instagram, Twitter. You're watching here on Twitch. And give Di9 Designs a follow on Twitter and Instagram as well. Everyone in the chat. K Harvick fan, Arcs Racing Networks, Mama Vols, Vols fan 88. Davey Haug had some friends in here as well. Thanks for coming out. It's always so much fun to do this. I appreciate you.